Want to update our breaking news right now. Darby Borough Police on the scene of a murder investigation. Police say that a man was shot and killed in the hallway of an apartment complex. This happened in the 400 block of Main Street. Detectives and a medical examiner are now at that scene. Police are investigating to see if a man seen running down Main Street could be connected to this crime. No word yet on a motive, but once again, a murder investigation underway right now in Darby Borough.
Also breaking this morning, the search for two men in a violent home invasion and robbery in Bucks County.
Eyewitness News reporter Jan Carabeo joins us now at New Britain Township Police Department with the latest information for us. Jan?
Erica and Yuki, police here are still searching for two armed suspects, and for a time they had a very strong lead. They were tracking a stolen cell phone, but it seems now investigators have been disconnected. An old farmhouse in quiet Chalfont, Bucks County became the scene of a frightening home invasion and robbery overnight. Just after midnight, four young men who live here were taken by surprise when two masked men broke in through a back door.
They kicked in the door, entered the house, gathered everybody together, got them down on the floor, demanded where valuables were. There wasn't a lot.
Police say the house on Limekiln Pike was targeted, but it seems the suspects expected more.
They knew a female occupied the house. They were asking where she was. She wasn't home.
Police responded in a minute, but the suspects had already gotten away with some cash, electronics, and one cell phone. Police were able to track the suspects for a time by that phone.
In Montgomery County, one pinged and the phone was turned off. There's only one phone that was taken.
Police will return to the scene later for further investigation, and all five who live at the home have now been questioned. They were too shaken up and had no comment as they left police headquarters Friday morning. During the break-in, one of the roommates in his 20s was pistol whipped.
They seemed all right, I guess. They seemed all right. They might have a headache later on.
Now, these roommates rent this house. They range in age 21 to 28. Police say they haven't really visited this home in the past, only for things like parties. So they say again that this neighborhood need not be on alert, that this was not a random attack. We will continue to follow this story, but for now, we are live outside of the New Britain Police Department here in Bucks County. Jan Carabeo, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Jan. We'll get back to you shortly. Well, this morning, firefighters are making headway in battling a wildfire in Burlington County.
More than 700 acres have scorched the Wharton State Forest. It's burning off Route 206. Eyewitness News reporter Justin Finch joins us now. He is in Chemung with an update on that fire. Good morning.
Erica, Yuki, good morning. The weather and wind could really help or hinder efforts this morning. We're told right now it's leaning towards the helping side. This area right now is under a dense fog advisory, but already we have seen the New Jersey Forest Fire Service head into Wharton State Park, or rather forest, to continue to fight back these flames. Let's take you now to video of what we saw here last night. More than 700 acres burning out here. Then late yesterday came word that the fire had been mostly contained. This all-day effort waged rather to help crews gain the upper hand. We also saw 75 firefighters on the ground setting back fires to knock down the stronger flames here. Additional volunteer firefighters were also called in to guard an old church here in the area where this fire was burning. Now, reinforcements also came down from above, helicopters and planes dropping water. Take a listen.
We can get real close. We can go to treetop level. If we had to, we could punch in if there was an area where we could put the bucket closer to the ground inside the trees. If there was a specific spot that we had to get to, we could do that. And it's this system is very accurate for spot fires that would go across the line or improving the line. It's a really effective means of water delivery.
Now, with those air efforts, that's where the wind and fog really play a big factor. We were told the wind could easily knock those aircraft around, so they need stability in the skies to do their jobs there. Also, the fog affects visibility, so as of right now, the planes may not go back out until much later in the afternoon once all this fog has burned off. And I know for your commute this morning in this area, you may find that it may be slow going. Smoke and fog are playing a factor in your commute along Route 206 near Alcyon Road. And we are live here in Chemung. I'm Justin Finch, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Justin, thank you. And like Justin said, the wind can really either help or hurt firefighters this morning.
Let's get more on that now with Katie outside. Good morning.
And it's a very light wind, guys, so that is where the fog is actually coming from. You know, Justin mentioned there's smoke out there in that fire site and even surrounding communities, but we've also got dense fog settling in across a good portion of our area. That doesn't include that fire site location at all. Delaware, the entire southern tier of New Jersey under a dense fog advisory this morning until at least 8 a.m. Some of these last until 9 a.m. depending on location, but the bottom line is essentially through your morning drive, you are going to be running into poor visibility south and east of Philadelphia. So depending where your travels take you, you have to watch for that. The wind says it all. You need light wind and certainly the moisture content in the air to get that fog to form in the first place. And we've got it perfectly out there. So the situation is ripe for that. 56 degrees, the current temperature in Atlantic City. We're in the mid 50s from Philly all the way up towards Mount Pocono. Storm scan, you know, there is fog out there. It's always tough to pick that up on satellite, but it's there. Otherwise, though, expect this fog to eventually get scoured out by the sunshine. The sun is now up, and it will do its part to help get rid of the worst of that low-lying cloud cover, and we'll have a very easy time this afternoon, rebounding right back into the mid-80s in Philadelphia. Looks like a nice afternoon for everyone, actually. Victoria?
Looking forward to it, Katie. Thanks so much, and good morning, everybody. If you are traveling out and about right now, I would say that, yeah, the niceness probably lies up where the not-so-niceness lies down on the roads, because we're now finally starting to see some of that rush hour pick up if you are traveling on 95. And this was a great shot. Shout out to my producer, Tim. You can kind of see the sun rising in the back here. This is 95 right around Girard Avenue, but you definitely can see some rush hour building in the southbound direction. And really, the rush hour will only continue to get worse out of the northeast down through the Vine Street Expressway. So even though we're moving in pockets and it's just starting, it's still going to be slow. If you're traveling northbound on 95, not too much to worry about there. And because of the slight haze that we have right now, sun glare isn't too much of a problem, but you do want to take it easy anyway. Also in Ridley, we do have an accident on Franklin Avenue at Amisland Road, vehicle struck a pole there, so you do want to be mindful. Try to avoid it if you can, but no major delays for mass transit. Erica?
All right, Victoria, thank you. A rowing tradition returns to Philadelphia. The 2015 Dad Vale Regatta gets underway this morning, and crews from all over the country and Canada, they're lining up on the banks of the Schuylkill.
It's time to get it on. Eyewitness News reporter Nicole Brewer joins us now. She's on Kelly Drive this morning with more on how the teams are preparing for today's event, the weekend event. Hey, Nick.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, an exciting day along the Schuylkill River for sure. The first race actually pushes off at 7 a.m. But before the experienced rowers make their way down the river, a couple of novices tried their hand at rowing.
Temple's varsity women's 8 make it look easy, but competitive rowing is anything but.
They've done studies on elite athletes, and they found that athletes with the highest VO2 max, which is the highest oxygen uptake that you could possibly have, are rowers, actually.
From cardiovascular fitness to muscle tone and coordination, rowing these boats is harder than it looks.
One of our favorite sayings is it never gets any easier, you just get faster.
So naturally, CBS 3 brought out the big guns to preview the 2015 Dad Vale Regatta, the largest collegiate rowing competition in the country.
Is the river this way? Or is it this way? I think it's this way.
That's right. Erica and I tagged along with Temple's team as they took to the Schuylkill River, the site of this weekend's competition. We started on land with a few tips from Coach. Then it was time to fill these shoes and join the crew.
For the big day.
As we pushed
obviously
off, I
doing
thought of the
much
advice the
than Erica and I managed. I do have to say, it's a lot harder than it looks, so let's just leave it at that. But Erica, we had a lot of fun out here, and we have to give a really big shout out to the Temple Women's Varsity 8 because they were so encouraging and helpful along the way. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
If it weren't for Annie, who was behind me, I think I would have flipped the boat over. So a big thank you to Annie Buckley also.
and Nicole, which way is that river? Which way is the river?
Oh yeah,
yes,
which way, Nicole?
I thank Annie as well. This way.
Yes. Put
Thanks,
Nicole and me
Nicole.
together, you never know what will happen.
I think we've got a delay going on.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Nicole, thank you.
I was waiting for it. It was like, wait for it.
It was worth waiting
Wait
for.
for it. All right, thanks, Dave. We'll get back to you. Well, Tom Brady finally weighs in on Deflategate. That's coming up in sports.
Also ahead, a 16-year-old fugitive who escaped while in handcuffs surrenders to police overnight. We're hearing from his brother, a disgraced traffic court judge who has made a few of his own headlines over the years.
And we finally know how a SEPTA bus ended up on these train tracks. We'll show you the video that explains it all. We'll do it on the other side. Be right back. We'd like to update what's happening in Nigeria right now, where extremists have attacked another school. Terrorists believed to be with the Boko Haram set off a car bomb and started shooting in the school. 5 students, I'm told, were shot and 45 others were hurt trying to escape all the chaos. This all happened at a business college. One of the attackers was killed when his car bomb blew up in the parking lot. More updates throughout the morning. Meanwhile, Chopper 3 is flying over breaking news right now in North Philly. You're looking live at the aftermath of a row home fire on Dillman Street that sent 2 people to the hospital. We're told one of the victims was found laying face down on the sidewalk, and firefighters pulled the other victim out of that home. Both are being treated for smoke inhalation. The flames also spread to a neighboring home. But as you can see, the fire is out right now. Erica?
New this morning, teenage fugitive Hashim Singletary has turned himself in. That 16-year-old, accompanied by his lawyer and family, walked into Southwest detectives late last night. Singletary's been wanted since Wednesday, when he escaped from private contractors that were hired to transport him from Florida to Philadelphia. The teen's brother, disgraced traffic court judge Willie Singletary, spoke on behalf of his family.
We talked to our brother because we're a close family and we work together. And so we wanted to make sure that we got here safe. And I'm happy, not because of the situation, but this didn't turn out like a Baltimore. This didn't turn out like a Ferguson.
Now, police say that teen has a long criminal record. He was wanted by authorities for crimes including home invasion and armed robbery. Willie Singletary, meanwhile, was sentenced in March to 20 months in federal prison for lying to the FBI about ticket fixing.
At 6:13, here's our traffic and weather together. Katie?
And good morning, Yuki. Hi, everyone. I want to just zero in on what's going on the eastern half of the United States, which is a lot. So we got to show you a wider zoom because of that. We continue to see a renewed threat for severe weather again today and for the next few days across the Central Plains. This is a front that's eventually going to roll our way, but not until early next week. In the meantime, we have our first named system of the hurricane season on our hands. Ana formed yesterday. It is right now a subtropical storm. So it isn't, for one thing, going to be the strongest storm we've ever seen. It's also not going to have any direct impact on us, but indirectly, absolutely. In fact, we're already finding some low-lying cloud cover coming out to us, especially towards the shore points here, with an onshore flow developing around high pressure to the north and low pressure to the south. It just funnels that moisture in. So fog is also an issue tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, but we regardless keep the mid-80s, and even heading into next week, then it starts to get steamy. This is going to feel like summer to you. Check it out. Mid-80s at minimum for the next few days. We even flirt, keyword flirt, but still flirt with 90 on Tuesday. That's going to be a steamy one for our area. By Wednesday, though, it does start to turn cooler for us. Mid-70s, the expectation, and we can expect to see more sunshine out there by that point. So in the meantime, again, temperatures are starting to really heat up out there. So mid-80s right from now through the weekend and into early next week.
Flirting.
Crazy stuff.
No,
There's a little flirting, very harmless flirtation going on
With
there.
90.
A wink and a smile.
Exactly.
Hey, 90. Hey.
How you doing?
Good morning, Emily.
Good morning. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. Well, let's get outside because rush hour is definitely kicking in high gear. If you are traveling on parts of 95, I would say that's the slowest. Schuylkill Expressway, however, right around Girard Avenue, it's not awful, but the eastbound side is picking up ever so slightly, even more approaching the Vine Street Expressway, and then westbound as you maneuver through that pocket approaching City Avenue out through to Belmont, and that will only continue to grow. As we take a look at some of our speed sensors, I mean, speed sensors aren't reflecting too much, but take a look at that 13 on 95. 95 is the worst right now out of the northeast down through to the Vine Street Expressway. Even some of that slowdown is starting right around the area of Academy, so right even out of Woodhaven is where you really get slow, so keep that in mind. And also keep in mind of construction that we have going on in Delaware on 202 southbound, the ramp to 95 northbound. It's closed until 5 a.m. Monday, starting on Saturday. Yuki?
Tori, thank you. Checking our headlines right now, police are investigating a deadly shooting in Darby Borough, Delaware County. One person was shot and killed inside an apartment complex on the 400 block of Main Street about 1 o'clock this morning. So far, police have made no arrests.
Also breaking this morning, a home invasion in Chalfont, Bucks County. New Britain Township police say that 2 armed men forced their way into a home on South Limekiln Pike around midnight last night. Those men got away on foot with cash and electronics.
And officials say a forest fire in Chemung Township, Burlington County is about 50% contained right now. The fire burned about 700 acres since it broke out yesterday afternoon. Be right back. Sports coming up. Well, in sports, the quarterback of the Super Bowl champion Patriots is addressing the Deflategate scandal for the first time since the NFL released its report. And Tom Brady says all the information is not in the new report.
There's still a process that's going forth right now, and I'm involved in that process. So whenever it happens, and I'll certainly want to be very comfortable in how I feel about the statements that I make.
Now, Brady's agent says the report is flawed, and there's been no comment from Patriots employees mentioned in the report, and the NFL has not announced its punishment for those men, Brady or the Patriots. Well, the Eagles and the first-round draft pick, Nelson Aguilar, have reached an agreement on a 4-year deal. Sources say it's worth about $9 million plus a signing bonus. The new wide receiver will take part in today's rookie minicamp over at NovaCare in South Philly, and that runs through the weekend. Welcome to town once again, young man. Well, the Phillies host the National League East leading New York Mets tonight at Citizens Bank Park. The Fightins will start Cole Hamels. The Mets will start Matt Harvey. Now, Harvey's coming back from Tommy John surgery, and he's 5-0 thus far on the young season. A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, has surpassed another baseball milestone. Last night's long ball off the Orioles' Chris Tillman was his career home run number 661, putting A-Rod ahead of the Say Hey kid Willie Mays on the all-time list. A-Rod is now in the 4th spot all-time in Major League Baseball.
6:20 right now in Philadelphia, of course known as the city of brotherly love, but seems not everyone's feeling it. Coming up, why Philly just ranked as one of the unfriendliest cities in the U.S.
Can't believe it. Also, scary moments aboard a Delta Airlines flight when smoke filled the cabin. You're going to hear from the CBS News producer who was on board and shot that video. That's next. Yeah, Philly's own Boys to Men as we get set for Mother's Day weekend. Mother's Day is Sunday as we honor and pay tribute to all our mothers, past and present. Good morning, family. Glad you're with us.
And future, like Katie.
And future, that's right. Go ahead, girl. We'll be right back. Good morning. Mama, just want you to know.
Just past 6:23 on your Friday morning. Hey, Katie.
And good morning, Erica. Hi, everyone. We are dealing with some pretty dense fog south and east of Philadelphia. But even though when we take you out here to Skycam 3, it looks like there's the thinnest little haze out there. The sun is now up, and more than anything, it's just a bright, sunny start to the day. Currently 55 degrees at Philly International. Humidity is up there, though. You've got moisture to work with, and it's going to turn steamier and steamier with time. Happy Mother's Day, everybody in advance, of course, but by Sunday morning and probably tomorrow too, we start the days off with some fog, and on Mother's Day itself, easily expected to hit 86 degrees, well above average. Victoria.
Thank you so much, Katie, and good morning, everyone. So it's a very foggy and hazy morning start. If you are traveling on the Roosevelt Boulevard, I know it's a little bit tough to see, so you do want to be mindful of low visibility as a result of the weather this morning. But if you are traveling on the boulevard southbound approaching the Schuylkill, we're definitely starting to build up some traffic. Same thing goes on the 42 freeway. Starting to get even slower approaching the area of 295 on the northbound side of the 42, also the northbound side of 55. And Katie was talking about Mother's Day. Yep, Mother's Day on Sunday. So is the Race for the Cure. So expect closures for Kelly Drive. Erica.
All right, Victoria, thank you. Well, this is just some incredible video here capturing the moment a SEPTA driver slips out of her seat and then drives that Route 29 bus onto train tracks in South Philly. That bus was traveling on Columbus Boulevard Tuesday when it made a U-turn at Dickinson Street. Then the driver fell. She lost control of the bus, which then crossed a median before getting on those train tracks, and it nearly hit that stopped freight train. Eyewitness News spoke with SEPTA about why that driver was not wearing a seatbelt.
It is definitely something that she should have been wearing. And if she had had that seatbelt on, I'm sure we would not be looking at this accident.
The driver and two passengers suffered minor injuries in that crash. SEPTA is not releasing the name of the worker involved.
Well, just a scary few moments for passengers as smoke fills a Delta Airlines jet. This is video from Flight 2028 from Fort Lauderdale to LaGuardia yesterday. About an hour after taking off, smoke filled the cockpit and the cabin of the MD-88. Catherine Davis, a producer for CBS News 60 Minutes, shot this video.
We could hear the beeping of the smoke alarm. And it was pretty quickly. The cabin was filling up with smoke pretty quickly. So yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking. They told all of us to put our heads down on in our laps, so because the air would be fresher.
And the pilots made an emergency landing in Charleston, South Carolina. No one was hurt. Another of the 89 passengers on board tweeted this picture of the smoky cabin, calling the experience the scariest flight ever. And I can imagine. I mean, you're flying alone, all of a sudden smoke. Yes, indeed. But the pilots still controlled. They did what they had to do. They're trained. They know what the nearest airport.
And there's only so much air. I mean, until you let down the oxygen.
Exactly right.
Masks. Wow.
Everybody's okay. Coming up in our next half hour of Eyewitness News this morning, some terrifying video of a teenage girl being attacked inside her own home. You'll see how she fought him off. Also, a battle for firefighters trying to gain control of this huge forest fire in South Jersey. That fire is so big that you can smell that smoke from as far away as northeast Philadelphia. We'll tell you how much is contained. Nicole.
And Erica, the athletes make it look easy, but just what does it take to cruise down the Schuylkill River? Coming up next, Erica and I jump on board to find